I'm gonna read an article, a piece of a book of Lou Marinoff with the purpose of giving a lesson to others, to be a teacher and may others learn something. On human conflict of Lou Marinoff, chapter 1, the problem of war. Eliot continues, when politicians in tones of grave wonder characterize our age as one of past effort in saving human life, an enormous vigor is destroying it. They seem to feel they are indicating some mysterious paradox of the human spirit. The difference is that one area of public death has been tackled and secured by the forces of reason, the other has not. But there is no a priori guarantee that a myriad of elegant appeals to value or to morality or to reason will begin to diminish the magnitude of a problem or avert its steady worsening. They must be made although a posteriori they appear to make little difference. One number requires a second mention in the matter of accumulated nuclear firepower. The 16 billion equivalent tons of trinitrotoluene that we know of, divided by 7 billion people, gives the equivalent of more than 2 tons of TNT per person on the planet. This boat, though not yet paid for, payment could be exacted upon delivery, and delivery could not be refused. In the absence of historical precedent for this situation, there is nevertheless a tendency to revert to the well-established tradition of choosing between Epicureanism and Stoicism in response to the threat, which in their several ways are committed to anything but its alleviation. The threat is so invidious and it makes a mockery of the most sincere attempt to take it seriously. The philosophical journalism of Shell, for example, which is a lucid exposition of the need to inculcate a new morality in the face of a nuclear holocaust, leads to a conclusion from which unfortunately it can be shown that a nuclear holocaust is impervious to morality. Shell argues, and no one can doubt, that now we are alive, but in a moment we may be dead. This much has been surmised by most people at some time only in the first person. Now I am alive, but in a moment I may be dead. Now an agnostic may reason thus: once I am dead, no matter what the cause, I may no longer know nor care how many others have perished from the same cause or from some other. And if we are all to die, there can be no bereavement for want of mourners. And if we all die, then the problem of war is also solved, if only vacuously. That we have the means to die does not immediately suggest useful ways in which to live. The manner of all possible deaths has been well contemplated. The reason for them has not. In an age where alternatives are scarce, one ought not to look askance at philosophy, the relationship of philosophy to war. Russell provides a useful metaphor for locating philosophy on the conceptual map of human endeavor. Between theology and science there is no man's land. There is no man's land. Exposed to attack from both sides. This no man's land is philosophy. This metaphor implies not only that philosophers must avoid head wounds in the crossfire of dogma and theory, but also that they ought to tread perspicaciously, for the ground is a virtual minefield of fallacy. Some of these have been exposed, such as the fallacy of misplaced concreteness, the naturalistic fallacy, the fallacy of ad hominem, of solipsism, of post hoc ergo propter hoc, of the preponderance of means sovereigns to mention a few. Mention is not gratuitous. Now, the relevance of philosophy to the study of war follows from the working definition. It is the inner term in the nest, namely violence, that so often attracts the love of gratuity, and this must be accounted a pedestrian banality. It is to be held that much human violence is an outward manifestation of inner conflict. Theories of such conflict has been advanced notably by Asian philosophy and Western psychology. Various sets of presuppositions upon which such theories rest, whether holistic or reductionist, can be examined in light both of internal consistency and empirical corroboration. The roots of violence are to be sought